Hurricane Ernesto takes aim at Bermuda. I'll have all the newest information and if there's any other areas of tropical interest as we get closer to our weekend. Your forecast across the Caribbean and the Bahamas starts right now.
This is Meteo Mundo.
Hi everyone, Rusty back here at Meteo Mundo. Very nice to see you on a Thursday. Hope you're doing well. Coming up in this video, all the newest information on Ernesto. We'll look what's going on right now with this storm. We'll talk about the potential track and the impacts for Bermuda, where they now do have a hurricane warning. We've had some active weather in the Bahamas for today. We'll look at that. We've got another tropical wave entering the picture in the Lesser Antilles. And it's been pretty darn hot for a lot of you as well. As we get the video started, I'd love to hear from you guys. Let me know in the comments section below where you're viewing from, what the weather has been like, if you've been impacted by Ernesto. First of all, our thoughts are with you guys, but give us an update. Let us know how you're doing. We'll start off the video, of course, by looking at what's going on right now with Ernesto. As of the 5 o'clock advisory from the Hurricane Center, winds are still 85 miles an hour. Now, Ernesto looks relatively good on satellite imagery, but it is fighting a couple of things of note, which has really hindered this getting any stronger. The first thing is it's still fighting some dry air ingestion even into the inner core of the storm, and the hurricane hunters noted that there's still no closed eye wall with the system. You can see again, there's just a little bit more ragged at the end there. You see that drier air on the northeast side? I can show you that on the water vapor imagery. You would want to see on this water vapor imagery that deep blue, which is an indication of a lot of moisture in the atmosphere on all four quadrants, but there is some drier air that continues to get wrapped around and right into the center of the storm, and that has not allowed that eye wall to close off and to really start to see the further strengthening occurring right now. So that's great news for our friends in Bermuda, because obviously if the storm hasn't gotten stronger as of yet, the window of time is beginning to narrow. The other thing is on this visible satellite imagery, which I'd love to show you guys, especially towards sunset, we can really see some of that shadowing effect, is that all of the really strong winds are still on the eastern side of the storm. There is a little bit of a stronger wind field out to the south, but there's very little wind on the northwest side, and so it's not a very concentric storm. I can show you that on the latest Hurricane Hunter reconnaissance aircraft that went through. On this product, you're going to look for those reds and purples. Those are the stronger winds. Here's the center right here. And look at all that purple on the eastern side. We see some of that on the southwest side, but not a lot on the north and the northwest side. This is, again, a very elongated storm on the eastern side, not very concentric with the wind field. So as we look at the latest from the Hurricane Center as far as the track, the 5 o'clock advisory, winds are 85, moving north at 13. It's going to slip below that trough that's moving through across the U.S. eastern seaboard right now, and then track up towards Bermuda. Now look, it's still forecast to become a higher end Category 2 hurricane, but that'll be before it hits Bermuda as it tries to slowly weaken as it moves in and closer to the island. Right now for Bermuda, tropical storm impacts are likely beginning later tomorrow, and then the hurricane impacts for Saturday, which again is why they are under a hurricane warning. We'll talk a lot more about what's going to be happening here for Bermuda coming up. As you can see, that track does take it just to the west of the island, and that cone of uncertainty is obviously still very close. Before we get into kind of the forecast of what's going on with Ernesto, I do want to go back and talk about what's been happening across our entire area on this Thursday. And we'll start with my friends in the Bahamas, where we've actually had some good showers and storms on the northwest side a little bit earlier on this Thursday afternoon. You can see that on the satellite imagery. I'm going to bring up the radar imagery, and you want to talk about going gangbusters. That's what's been happening in southeast Florida for today. Places like Fort Myers and Miami got pretty hammered. These storms were a little bit more active earlier today for Walker's Key, Grand Bahama, Freeport, Lucaya, High Rock, the Abaco area down towards Bimini. They tried to skirt back down towards Andros and New Providence and Nassau, but they've kind of lost some of their intensity as they've done. And even at the hour, overall, they faded away. But there was a good bit of lightning and some heavier downpours associated with them. Not expecting really any rain south of there. So you get down towards Eleuthera and Cat Island and Rumkey and San Salvador and Exuma. A brief shower is possible, but not a lot of rain. Really what the central southeast Bahamas and the Turks and Caicos have seen for today is some of those swells coming in from Ernesto, some really long period easterly swells that are reaching double-digit heights in some spots. So we'll talk much more about how that will impact boaters, but obviously there's a small craft advisory, and there will still be some big swells for the Bahamas tomorrow and the U.S. eastern seaboard as well. Another big story will be this tropical wave coming in to the Lesser Antilles. Now look, it's not going to become a disturbance. This is not going to be a system that's going to wrap up, but it is going to bring some showers and a few storms to portions of the Windward Islands starting tonight and overnight, then through the rest of the Lesser Antilles, the Leeward Islands, and the Greater Antilles late tomorrow and on Saturday. So we are going to get some decent rain chances coming back into these areas. It'll just be a timing issue, and I'll talk about the areas that I expect to get the better chance for rain today, or excuse me, later today and tomorrow, and then the better chances Friday, Saturday coming up here in just a couple of minutes. But this is going to bring some rain. And again, the story for our friends in places like the U.S. and British Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico and the Leeward Islands is it's been dry for today, which is good with all the heavy rain that we've seen. But the problem is the heat. And especially when there's no power in some spots and there's no running water in some areas as well. When I bring on the heat index, the peaks in a lot of spots today were 105-ish. St. Croix, St. Thomas, San Juan. By the way, there were some areas of Puerto Rico that did get 14, 15 inches of rain out of Ernesto. There's still flooding issues and there's still some power problems. So when you have a heat advisory that they had for today, this is a rough scenario when you're dealing with little power or no power in some areas. So again, rough. We're going to get a few showers in this area beginning on Friday. But again, it's such a double-edged sword, right? You don't want a lot more rain, but you know, you can't really deal very well with 105 feels like temperatures with no power. So our friends in Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands and the Leeward Islands, again, let us know how you guys are doing. For Hispaniola today, a few storms mainly on the Haiti side, the northwest sides of the Dominican Republic, then through portions of Haiti, towards Lacaille, off the peninsula as well. Pretty isolated in nature overall. Saw a few storms ramped up today in Jamaica. Earlier, it was very hot for Kingston, again, up to around 115 for a feels like temperature, which is around 45, 46 Celsius. But we did get some storms for places like Port Moore, Spanish Town, Kingston, just kind of developing over the area, even over the harbor, halfway trade, then developing and moving north towards Linstead, north central side of the island. Then kind of another cluster has redeveloped here late on this Thursday afternoon. Mandeville, Santa Cruz, north towards Cambridge, and then back over towards Montego Bay. Again, not all of the areas that I just mentioned going to get the heavier downpours, but the opportunity is there. And thankfully so, because obviously this is going to help cool things off a bit. And the rain chances for my friends in Jamaica are not exceptionally high over the next couple of days as well. It's been high and dry and very hot in the Cayman Islands for today. We've had some storms in the central and the western sides of Cuba flare up. Been relatively active in the Yucatan for today, just inland from Cancun and Cozumel towards the western and the northwestern sides there of the Yucatan. Not a lot of rain for Belize for today. A few showers near San Ignacio, but mainly moving inland, and relatively dry for Honduras. Now, a little bit better chance for some rain here in the afternoon, moving inland, Nicaragua, places like Costa Rica and Panama. Better chance for some showers and storms to cool things off, and some of that will be heavier rain and a fair amount of lightning as well. And my friends in the ABC Islands have been pretty much hot and dry for today, with again, it feels like numbers well above 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Friends, as we get into the forecast part of the video, thank you so much for liking this video. And if you haven't subscribed to Meteo Mundo yet, click that subscribe button right now. What are you waiting for? You want your daily updates across the Caribbean, the Bahamas, and of course your tropical updates as well. And again, thank you so much for finding all the ways to support the channel and to donate to the channel as well. I thank you for that very, very much. Okay, now let's get into the forecast with Ernesto. First of all, on this product, all of this that you see, these are the wind fields associated with Ernesto. When you have the pinks, those are hurricane force winds. So we are forecasting hurricane conditions in Bermuda starting very late Friday, but mainly through the day on Saturday. And again, the official forecast from the Hurricane Center takes it just west of the island, which is no good because it keeps the stronger eastern side into play for the island if it passes just off towards the west. Let me drop the wind field here real quickly. And we'll already look that there's a little bit of rain that's going to be moving in tonight. And then the weather's just going to go downhill later Friday and especially into Saturday. Let's take a look at the GFS model. And I'll zoom back out to do this, which means I'm also going to have to drop off those wind fields again. But we'll loop this up. And we'll go out a couple of days here. Let's see, we'll go out to Sunday afternoon, which is all it's going to take. Now, there's a couple of different hazards we're going to have to talk about. First of all, my friends in Bermuda, hurricane warning. You do need to prepare for hurricane conditions. Ernesto should peak south of you and only slowly begin to weaken. The official forecast from the Hurricane Center is basically a low-end Cat 2 becoming a high-end Cat 1 as it moves across the island on Saturday. Now, the GFS, which I'm showing you right now, has always been weaker with the storm, but unfortunately, it's also too weak right now. Winds are 85. We don't have that strength on the GFS model. The GFS basically takes whatever Ernesto is going to bring and pushes it right over the island, okay? So this is even a little bit further to the east. Again, best case scenario would be even a little bit farther easterly tug to get the weaker western side of Ernesto to move across the island. When I bring on the winds on the GFS model, again, I'm going to show you these, but there's kind of that caveat that it's not as strong initially, so the wind field overall is a little bit weaker than what it should be. But more than anything, I just want you to notice that literally here on the GFS model, as we get into Saturday, we actually have the eye of Ernesto going right over the island, okay? So the winds on the GFS would be more in the mid-range category 1 here, right? I can show you that real quickly. As a matter of fact, we'll just stair step this back into time. So right about here on the GFS, you're gonna find some Cat 1 winds. These are sustained. You know, we'll find a 75 here or there, but again, it's weaker than what the Hurricane Center has. The biggest issue besides the winds, and by the way, gusts are likely to be over 100 miles an hour, unfortunately, as well, is the rain. So when I go back out and show you the GFS model rain and come back in, the Hurricane Center is talking about more than a foot of rain in Bermuda, and the GFS model bears that out as well. So we could have some exceptionally high rainfall totals in Bermuda on the GFS model. All that yellow is rainfall totals right around 12 inches or slightly higher. 12 to 15 is a possibility. So the hazards for Bermuda would be hurricane force winds sustained, gusts over 100 miles an hour, and then 12 to 15 inches of rain on the higher end. But the GFS tracking the storm right over the island would bring those rainfall totals to the island in a relatively quick amount of time, because again, Ernesto will be slowing up as it is moving across the island, and that's not good news for the rainfall, because the longer it sits over one spot, the more opportunity it has to bring that heavier rain. The European model is stronger with Ernesto, much more in line with the Hurricane Center is talking about peaking it again, you know, Cat 2, hopefully keeping it below Cat 3, but also again, weakening it. It's not about the sea surface temperatures. They're a little bit cooler near Bermuda, but they also would still support a major hurricane. It's more about encountering a bit of wind shear and drier air behind that trough to slowly begin to weaken it. But we're not going to see a plummeting of Ernesto. Now, could something wonky happen and that inner core continue to ingest drier air and it never gets as strong as what the Hurricane Center and the models are showing? That is still a possibility, but we still have to prepare for what the Hurricane Center is talking about here. And again, that is getting a low Cat 2 or high-end Cat 1 very near the island. If we look at the European model winds, and these are in gusts, now the European model is just west of the island. That is not good news. It's on the centerline track from the Hurricane Center, but you notice that early Saturday morning, peak winds on gusts are 112 miles an hour, and that would be very near the island. So this track from the European, again, having the stronger right front quadrant over the island, would bring those wind gusts of over 100 miles an hour, up to 112 on the model. So again, significant winds are likely in Bermuda based on this as well, okay? The HAFS A model, this is the winds here. Bermuda is just, let me get back on camera real quick. Bermuda is right here. So the HAFS A follows the GFS and actually pulls the eye right over the island. On this one, and this is on Saturday again, but very early Saturday, max winds sustained are 95 miles an hour, okay? So we have our models all very close to each other as far as track. Intensity is about the same. It will all depend on where that eye goes. But again, 95 mile an hour winds near the center on the HAFS A model. So this again would be a direct hurricane impact for Bermuda on Saturday. The other big issue is going to be some of the swells. Now, again, we talked about these have already been moving into the Turks, the Caicos, and the Bahamas. This is a snapshot tomorrow morning where we still have some double-digit swells trying to move in. They'll begin to move north, but small craft advisories are up. Small craft should not be venturing into the open Atlantic waters here on the eastern side of the islands. And obviously, the winds and the waves are going to follow Ernesto north, and we're going to have some swells, and we're going to have dangerous surf conditions along the United States East Coast over the weekend as well. So please keep that in mind. And obviously, another big issue is we're going to have some double-digit wave heights, significant waves moving close to Bermuda as well. We're talking about, 14, 16, maybe some 18-foot seas trying to get close to the island as Ernesto moves through. So unfortunately, all hazards are in play for our friends in Bermuda. Behind it, we're going to have the easterlies that will be in play here in a little bit more tranquil conditions. So that's the latest on Ernesto, okay? And again, our thoughts are with our friends in Bermuda, and I'll continue to keep you guys updated. Let's get to the rest of the forecast for everyone else who thankfully doesn't have to deal with Ernesto. We not only have that one tropical wave, but we have another robust tropical wave coming off of the West African coast. At this point in time, the Hurricane Center is not highlighting it for development, but this time of the year, friends, these are the things that I watch out for here. We're in mid-August. These things can develop in a hurry, but at this point in time, things are all right, and it's far away. And again, the one closer to the Lesser Antilles, not expected to bring anything more than some quick passing showers and some rain. So let's look at the forecast, back over to the GFS model, and we'll loop up the rain here over the next few days. I'm going to take this out to Monday. And while I'm doing so, if you haven't hit that like button, I thoroughly appreciate you guys doing that for me as well. And I do really want to hear from our friends in the Leeward Islands and the Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, just to get an update and hope you guys are doing okay. Some of you have sent me some messages, email, some of our other social media channels like TikTok and Instagram, and, let me know you guys are doing okay, or that you guys are still fighting and not having power right now. So I know it's an issue. And I haven't heard from some of you because I know the power has been out, unfortunately. Now, on the GFS model, we're going to show you the NAM coming up, but as the GFS likes to do, it just doesn't bring as much rain to the Lesser Antilles with this next tropical wave as what we should see. It brings in a few spotty showers here and there, but it's just not a good enough signal here. So I'm going to show you the NAM coming up, but I do want you to notice there'll be a little bit more rain marching off towards the west, especially as it picks up over Hispaniola, the Dominican Republic, and Haiti. Rain chances will be okay for Jamaica and the Cayman Islands. Nothing very prominent here, though. And overall for the Caribbean, best chances for rain will be the Lesser Antilles overall the next couple of days. And the rain chances will be all right for everyone else, but nothing very concentrated. Even Central America, we'll see more kind of the localized showers and storms developing. There's a little bit of drier air overall right now that's coming into play for us here. So showers and storms will be not as prominent or as widespread. We'll get some rain again coming in from north to south for the northwest Bahamas, but behind Ernesto, a lot of that moisture is going to be sucked away from the storm, so only scattered showers and a few rumbles of thunder expected, especially from places like Eleuthera and New Providence and Andros up to the north, with only isolated showers for the central southeast Bahamas down towards the Acklins and our friends in the Turks and the Caicos as well. Let me show you the NAM model. As I mentioned, I think it has a better handle on the actual tropical wave coming in, so let's get back over to the reflectivity there and loop it up. Now again, the NAM does cut off in the Windward Islands, so we're not going to see all that we're going to get in Trinidad and Tobago, but I do, again, just want you to notice that the NAM has a better handle on the fast-moving showers. The rain chances here will be 40-50% in most spots. And again, some areas, best chance for rain tonight into Friday. Other areas, especially north, better chances Friday late and into our Saturday. And that would include St. Thomas, St. John, Tortola, St. Croix, and Puerto Rico. Maybe if you're actually hoping for a little bit of rain to cool things off, whether you do or don't have power. The good news is this is not going to be very heavy rain. Yes, there'll be some localized downpours, but to see more significant rain behind Ernesto, I don't expect that because this wave will be moving at least 20 miles an hour. It is going to be moving very quickly across the area, so the showers will skirt along with it as well through the Dominican Republic and Haiti, and again, reach its way back towards Jamaica. But even on the NAM model, guys, for our friends in Jamaica, Kingston and Mandeville, Ocho Rios, Montego Bay, Negril, Lucy areas. Passing showers, some storms developing with the heat of the day, but there's just not a huge opportunity for showers here over the next few days. But we'll go island by island for you right now. We'll start with the Northwest Bahamas. Best chance, I think, over the next 3 days will be tomorrow at about a 40% chance, then a 30% for Saturday and Sunday. Boating conditions will improve for the weekend as well. Central and Southeast Bahamas, very limited as Ernesto pulls away all the rain, 30% chance on Sunday. Turks and Caicos will get shaved on the northern side by that tropical wave, so a little bit better chance on Sunday. Cuba's rain chances stay in that average area, but localized showers and storms. Cayman Islands opportunity will ramp up a bit as well over the weekend, up to a 40% chance on Sunday. Belize and Cancun and Cozumel, again, over the last, which seems like months, this is some of the driest chances that we've had, just around a 20 to a 30% chance. 30 for our friends in Jamaica tomorrow, 40 on Saturday and Sunday, so a little bit higher chance for the weekend. Dominican Republic is still mainly dry tomorrow, but then that wave moves in. 50% chance Saturday, 40% chance on Sunday. Puerto Rico, again, after a fairly dry day tomorrow. Late tomorrow, but especially on Saturday, there's your best rain chance, but it falls off quickly again on Sunday. Same thing for the U.S. and British Virgin Islands. Obviously, an all call for our friends in Bermuda. Tropical storm conditions late tomorrow. Hurricane conditions on Saturday. Maybe the tail end of Ernesto still brings some rain early on Sunday, but drying out then. Anguilla, 40% chance tomorrow, 50 Saturday, fairly dry Sunday. Same thing for our friends in Kitts and Nevis, Saba and St. Martin as well. Antigua, Barbuda, 50% chance tomorrow, 40 Saturday, 20 on Sunday. Montserrat, about the same. Guadeloupe, better rain chances for Friday, for Dominica as well, and Martinique. Everywhere here has your best chance of rain for tomorrow and then tailing off for the weekend. Barbados, same situation, 60% chance tomorrow, more isolated over the weekend. There will be a lot of dry hours in locations for Barbados. Grenada, Saturday, Sunday, better chances tomorrow. Trinidad and Tobago, again, quick passing showers. Rainfall totals shouldn't be exceptional in most spots, probably 10 to 25 millimeters in most areas. It could be locally higher, but not expecting, again, a ton of rain overall with this one. Suriname's rain chances are relatively high tomorrow and then still decent over the weekend. Guyana's rain chances kind of follow suit. Nueva Esparta's showers should come in late tomorrow and then early on Saturday as they dry out. And how about this? Cross your fingers for our friends in the ABC Islands with a 40% chance for showers moving on Saturday. Again, is it going to be a lot of rain? No. Can we cool things off from some 34 and 35 degrees Celsius daytime highs there? I certainly hope so. Friends, I appreciate you joining me here. You can follow us across all social media, Instagram, TikTok, X, Facebook. You want to send me a picture or video, it's myMediaMundo@gmail.com. Again, you have a specific question about the forecast, drop it in the comment section below. I'm happy to answer that. And of course, while you're down there, thank you for liking this video and subscribe me if you have not done so as of yet. Friends, have a great rest of your Thursday. I'll be back with the latest on Ernesto in your weekend forecast tomorrow. So I'll see you then, right here at Meteo Mundo.